Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Rabbana la hadaytana min ladunka rahma innaka anta wahhab. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'al li waziran min ahli Haruna akhi ushdud bihi azri washriku fi amri kay nusabbihaka kathira wa nazkuraka kathira innaka kunta bina basira wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Welcome, dear friends. Hope everyone is doing well. So we are studying from the rays, the 15th ray. First station, page 572 in the book. And last time we touched upon the phrase, he has no partner. And from partner, we understood it's talking about the Quranic word of shirk. So anything associated with divinity, we may fall into. We have to watch out for that, be careful with that. And we try to understand this particular verse from the Quran, section 17, verse 42. Say, if there had been other gods with him, so referring to anything that is associating as shirk. As they say, behold, they would certainly have sought out a way to the Lord of the throne, to the end of the verse. And of course, the evidence that we have is this universe, to understand that whenever we observe anything in the universe, it tells us, hey, are you the maker of yourself, or the qualities that you have, did you create them? No, so none of the things can claim to have any quality to give existence to. So everything points to everything that comes into existence points to the absolute source. So now we will continue with the fourth phrase. His is the dominion. A concise indication of the lengthy proof contained in this phrase. A concise indication of the lengthy proof contained in this phrase. And he explains it, the author explains this. We see that behind the veil, one of boundless power and knowledge makes the face of the earth into an arable field. And every spring sows in it, all mixed up together, the seeds of 100,000 species of plants. Then, in perfect order, without confusing any of their crops. So it's very good, so the seeds, they are matching, they look alike, many of them, but without confusing any of their crops, he raised them with the hand of mercy. So they don't rise by themselves, but they are raised with the hand of mercy and wisdom. Although we do not see that in action, that something is bringing the plants up or making us change. But when we examine the result, we say that the things that are existing cannot be responsible for the change, the result that we see. So he raises the plants with the hand of mercy and wisdom. Out of them distributes to the 200,000 animal species. Out of them distributes to the 200,000 animal species their sustenance and rations, according to need. So all those plants are used and consumed by the other animal species or human beings as their sustenance and rations according to their need. Now imagine, do these plants or fruits, vegetables that we eat, do they have any consciousness that they're feeding us? Does the whatever orange or fruit, banana, whatever, do they know me when I'm treating myself with them? So the acts of this, he performs these acts of disposal in his vast, rich dominions, especially on the face of the earth. Those then who do not recognize that all-wise disposer and compassionate owner are compelled to deny the earth together with its produce, like the foolish sophists. So those who just joined us, we are reading from the raise, page 572. And looking at the fourth phrase, his is the dominion. Again, we have to look at the evidence that is out there for us, the universe. Observe it carefully, how the things that are in the universe, they are not acting by themselves, but not from their own. I mean, there is the invisible hand, one may say, but the one who is making the change, there must be a source that must not be of the nature of the things that we see around us. And a continuous change is happening, which shows that, yes, his is the dominion. Whoever is displaying all these qualities, manifesting these changes, the beauty, the generosity, compassion, mercy, wisdom. So before I move on to the fifth phrase, would anybody like to share any comment or anything on the his is the dominion, the fourth phrase? Are you good, Brother Ali? So we'll go to the fifth phrase. His is the praise. Now, after observing all this dominion, the qualities manifested, seeing the art, the work of an absolute being, I would think that his is the praise. Definitely, we are amazed and wonder, we're benefiting from all of it. So let's see how the author explains it. This is a very brief indication to the very extensive proof contained in this phrase. So his is the praise. Yes, we see with our eyes and understand clearly with our minds that this city of the universe, quarter of the earth, and barracks of men and animals is governed, supervised, and maintained by an all-compassionate provider, a munificent provider of bounties. So all this, the whole universe, or as he says, the city of the universe, quarter of the earth, barracks of men and animals, they're all governed, supervised. They're governed, supervised, and maintained by an all-compassionate provider, a munificent provider of bounties. So I'm thinking to myself, do I see this as being governed, supervised, and maintained by an all-compassionate provider? Not often do I think about this, that I've been taken care of, maintained by an all-compassionate provider.
Slightly different way of saying it, excuse me. Yeah. These are governed and maintained by a one, which expression is used here?
Governed, supervised, and maintained.
Yeah, by
an all-wise, all-compassionate provider, beneficent.
Rather than using this language, they are governed by all-wise, all-powerful provider. I think we should change slightly the language. They need to be.
They need to be.
Yeah, they need to be governed by a all-wise. It means absolute. That's what we use this word. The absolute one, by an absolute one.
Right.
If someone doesn't have, if the provider doesn't have an absolute qualities, I cannot explain what is going on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
That is the language we have to change it. Although it seems to be saying the same thing, but one of them is based on pre-assumed concept.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is conclusion of reasoning.
So like a need of each and every creation has
that
a need.
That is what we have to see.
Yes.
Correct. That's what we have to see. Can I explain it? How can I explain what I am experiencing in this world?
Mm-hmm.
That is the question. I see that is the Quranic approach. Of course, in our daily language, we are Muslims, we are used to saying Allah is taking care of. Rizaq, Allah is the Rizaq. Yeah, that is conclusion. But if we hide ourselves behind these conclusions without realizing that we are unconsciously using these concepts, this terminology, and we don't need to investigate, taken for granted.
Right.
Everything seems to be taken for granted. That's why I say, look, needs to be presented in the way that the Quran presents. What is that? What was it? If there was any other creator, provider in the world, and within the universe, it means if the things themselves had their qualities to provide their needs, take care of their needs, then every piece of the universe will be absolutely powerful, absolutely knowledgeable one, and everything should be in a chaos. That's what last week we studied.
This verse, right?
Yeah, like this. And the Quran says, La ilaha, and then illallah. First, I have to see, look, everybody's need is taken care of. Millions of different kinds of animal beings on the earth, under the earth, soil, in the air, animate beings, for example, viruses are in the air. Yeah, flying over everywhere. So birds and other animals that we may not be able to see with naked eyes, and under the sea, thousands, maybe I'm sure, tens of thousands of different kinds of fish. Each of them has its own way of feeding, its own way of breeding. new generations, protecting their babies, taking care of them, and defense also, sensitivity, recognizing which food is better for them or not. Who is organizing all this? Fish is coming out of
Water.
that microscopic thing. And this is maybe alive, even the life of this thing. Can I find out any way to explain that these well-organized living beings acting by themselves or because of their molecules or the cells or particles in their body, in their being, operating there individually on their own will, on their own choice? La ilaha. It means they can't. They are subject, only like me. I'm subject. Can I organize how my stomach works? I think I'm hungry. So I don't know. I don't know how it works even. Although I say it is my stomach, I don't know. So I am a conscious being. And I can reason. Even I don't know. So we have to say, look, I cannot find any source of anything in this world that I will assign as to be the provider. Anything, small, big. So therefore we say there must be an absolute provider. This terminology must be really firmly established in our language. We should never use any language which doesn't make to other people. Although it is our conclusion, yes, we have to use our conclusions in our prayers. Oh my God, since the sunrise this morning until the sun in the middle of the sky, where Earth is vertical, I have experienced in my life that apart from an absolute being who is you, there is no one that I can really devote my appreciation, my praise, my happiness, but only the one who is the creator of the whole universe, which you introduce yourself in your message as the Lord of all the worlds. Here I am presenting to you now. You are the owner of everything. This is valid only when I am speaking to my creator in my worship. When I am speaking, especially studying a text like this one, I have to use always the conclusion of my rational, intellectual activities. So my feelings are satisfied with it. I am speaking to my God while I am performing my ritualistic prayers with this conclusion that my feelings confirmed. That is what we have to, the language, develop the language, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much.
It is not a criticism, by the way. No, we have to remind each other, look, we are reasoning, we are learning why belief in God, absolute being, is true, correct. We are not repeating ourselves. Inshallah.
Inshallah. All right. Anybody else would like to comment or say anything? All right, so we'll continue. For in order to have his bounties praised and thanked for, he makes the earth into a merchant ship. So everything is arranged just like a merchant ship. Yes. in the fifth phrase. His is the praise. And railway train bringing provender. I don't know what that word is. And the spring into a wagon filled with 100,000 sorts of foods and packets of conserves called breasts. I guess provides, provender, never. Let's see what that is. Provender, food. All right. Good to know. And railway train bringing provender and the spring into a wagon filled with 100,000 sorts of foods and packets of conserves called breasts, conveying them to the needy living creatures whose rations have been exhausted at the end of winter. Needy living creatures, there we go. Anyone with an iota of intelligence would agree that this was the work of an all-compassionate provider, while one who does not affirm it and deviates into denial is a foolish, harmful animal, since he is then obliged to deny all the regular bounties and specific foods on the face of the earth, which are the cause of praise and thanks. So that is the fifth phrase. His is the praise. So whatever we observe in the universe, we see everything is in need of, first of all, their existence. We love life. We want to keep our living. We want to see, keep on seeing. We want to hear, keep on hearing. All the qualities that we are given, we need them to keep going on, keep existing. I want to keep enjoying the qualities that I am endowed with. So I have to realize that I'm not the one who is taking care of whatever the qualities I find in me. Or even the tools that I find in me, I can't even take care of them by giving them existence. So all these qualities, all these bounties that each and every being is in need of, is enjoying, is the means for us to give thanks to the one who is providing it. All right, so we can continue with the sixth phrase.
Why do we praise? Why do we thank? Do we need to do that? Because it is within my nature.
It is within me.
Yeah, it's within, because if I am happy, my feelings are given to me that I would present my happiness. I cannot really deny it. In everywhere, in everybody, believers or non-believers, whoever they see or whatever they see that they are happy with and they get some benefit from, they are thankful to that person or to that source. Even, for example, there is a plant manufacturer. Thanks to this plant, thanks to this factory, though we are having these things, whatever it is,
right?
Not necessarily only food. It may be some gadgets we need or clothes we need, even the human beings. If someone smiles at us, and we have to smile back.
Yes.
That is everybody. Yeah.
So that's innate. It's built in.
Yeah, it is. We cannot deny.
Right. Just
That's
like
with us.
feelings of love is within us.
So somebody asks, some people ask, why do we praise God? Why do we worship God? But ask the same thing. If someone, a neighbor, does any favor to you, why do you thank him? Well, why are you sympathetic to him? Why do you want to respond back?
Yeah.
That is hardwired in your being. That's you are a human being. This is given to me to be used in the right direction. So rationality, human intellect, here is employed. Whom am I going to present this feeling to? That I am having, let's say, the very, very an ordinary everyday, which nothing is ordinary, but everyday thing you have, and I don't know, okay, apple, simple. And so you are happy. That's why you really bite it, chew it, and swallow it, etc. Why? You are happy. You want to assimilate it within yourself. So express yourself, your happiness. To whom? Some people express their happiness. Greengrocer, farmers. Of course, more theoretically minded people express themselves, Mother Nature, yeah, laws of nature, whatever. But this text is arguing that these are a part of the universe. They need to exist. They need to be created, given existence. They don't have any power to choose, to decide, to see you organize everything, perfectly arrange the apple, wrap it up, inside seed, guaranteeing the future apples. This beautiful organization, vitamins, whatever it has in it, every single thing is meaningful in the existence. Who is aiming at this meaning? Matter? Do you think matter has some sort of quality to aim some meaning so that it will be meaningful to human beings? Decide. Think about it, really. Since you are going to thank people, yes, you can thank them as a means. I call them transporters. Greengrocer is a transporter, wholesaler is a transporter, farmer is a transporter. None of them are the cause of existence of apple. None of them. Tree is a transporter. This is just a means employed there. Season is a transporter. Means. So ultimately, I have to say,
okay, so whenever I enjoy, use the free will to direct that enjoyment, that love, that thankfulness to the one.
So I have to search. I have the quality. I have been given the quality.
So first I'll start with the apple, and then I'll say, hey, this is the apple that's treating me. I have to continue by reasoning, build to the source.
How is it coming into existence? Is it possible to see any quality in its constituent parts that they will arrange together to make the apple? Even the DNA, the phosphor, whatever particles there are in its body, are they able to do that? Do they have any choice at all? Do they have? Even I have the choice. I have choice, but how? Limited. How limited? Within the given conditions of the order of the universe. I cannot choose anything against the order of the universe. Even human beings, let alone matter. Human beings have intelligence, human beings have feelings, reasoning, free choice. We cannot go out of the order of the universe. We cannot choose anything out of the order of the universe. Even those people who, technologists and technique people, how do you call them? Technicians, in any engineers, in any subject, they cannot do anything without obeying the order of the universe. We have to understand this. They are genius. They are genius in obeying the order of the universe. They are not genius to create, to give an existence, a new order in the creation. That is very important in this age. We think that technology is invented. No, discovered, which was already in the order of the universe. We have to use this language on every occasion. Okay.
Inshallah. Thank you. All right. Any other comment? If not, we'll continue with the sixth phrase. He gives life. An extremely brief allusion to the proof in this phrase. Yes, it is proved in the 10th word and in other parts of the risale-i that every spring on the face of the earth, a glorious army is raised to life, which consists of 300,000 species of living beings of infinite variety. Infinite variety, with its innumerable members, all of whose lives and necessities are given to them with perfect order and regularity. It displays 100,000 samples. Indeed, signs of the supreme resurrection of the dead. It displays 100,000 samples, indeed, signs of the supreme resurrection of the dead. All those innumerable different creatures which are intermingled and mixed up together are raised to life in perfect balance and order, without error, mistake, or deficiency. Error, mistake, or deficiency, with none being confused, disarranged, or forgotten. Those hundreds of thousands of animal species, with their uncountable members, which all differ as regards to their forms, art, and livelihoods. Their forms, art, and livelihoods are resurrected from droplets of fluid called sperm, which is all similar, from seeds resembling earth, from tiny grains which differ little from one another, from the tiny eggs of flies, which are all similar, and the birds from the same air, and from fluid and eggs, which are either the same as or only a little different from each other. The person, therefore, who does not conclude after reasoning all this, that it is an ever-living and self-subsistent one, and all-knowing creative giver of life, who writes out on the page of the earth and the spring 100,000 different books, all together, one within the other, without error, perfectly is surely compelled to deny both himself and all the living creatures throughout the earth, in all the springs attached to the string of time, and on the faces of the living earth and space, and must himself be the most foolish and wretched of living creatures. So the author here, on the phrase he gives life, as he says on the 10th word, which many of us have studied probably, about resurrection, and all the examples, the samples, the signs, as the author calls it, the universe, and including the feelings within me is another sign that all these life that I am experiencing right now, I want to continue with that life. If I feel my life is in danger, I try to protect my life. Even the animals, plants, every living being is trying to protect their lives. So all those innumerable different creatures which are intermingled and mixed up together must be raised to life because of this need.
It is so amazing to me. Everything is really miracle, but all animals want to protect their new babies' generations. Why? Why do they?
Yeah, they're made that way.
Matter wants to continue its new generation, and they have, each of them have everything different from the others. Each species, even a member of every species, we can understand from human being. Every human being is unique, specially designed, but perfect, not in between. Those people, I don't know, maybe Suhail may say, or somebody else who knows the subject better, you may say about this subject. If they are developing from one form into another, while they are, for example, they say from one egg, it became like a fish or primitive, how is it called? The very, very,
Embryo?
no. And a kind of fish in it looks like from one aspect a plant, another is the animal, ample, or what is that? Or anybody knows it? Anyways, from there on, everything is perfect in its existence.
Yeah. What does he say?
Tadpole.
Tadpole.
Oh, I didn't know the word here. Amip.
Amoeba?
That's what I know. Amip.
Amoeba.
That's what I know.
Okay.
Maybe it is not English. Anyways, everything is perfect. From changing from this, whatever Suhail wrote here. Yeah, just a minute. Let me keep this one. Or the tadpole. From that tadpole became bird, became fish, became human being, became a mouse, became, I don't know, bird, fly, and and virus, everything. For example, even the tissue of my organs, they are all different from each other. my lungs tissue is completely different from my heart's tissue. My skin is completely different. Tissue is different from my teeth. Although teeth is here in it, in my mouth. Tongue is enormous amyobi. That's correct, is it?
Can you pronounce it, Sohail?
How do you
Amoeba? Or maybe?
Amoeba? Okay. Amoeba. Amoeba. Okay.
Yeah, amoeba. I think that's what you meant, or a single cell organism that, yeah, when you're saying it differentiates or something. So I think amoeba or just a single cell organism.
So while they are transforming from one stage, for example, the hand becomes winged for bird. Of course, they take millions of years, they say. Mm-hmm. But there must be an in-between creatures cannot survive. They are not animals on the earth. They are not flying in the air. There must be everywhere fossils, full of fossils of in-between creatures which are not complete. No one show one. No fossil. How did they develop from one stage into a small other amoeba, whatever, amoeba. So amoeba became human being. In between, there must be trillion of different in-between creatures. They cannot survive. There must be lots of fossils. There is no fossil. But all, whatever they find fossils are perfect beings, perfect different creatures. Some of them are surviving, some of them are not extinguished. But they are perfect. They live there at a perfect form, perfect life, according to their living conditions. They can find their food, they can survive, they can breed, they can have their babies, they regenerate, and they know what to do, how to do, where to go, where to lay the egg, where to hide their babies. Matter is the source of all this. I don't know how they convince themselves. That is their problem. It is impossible to reduce the creatures to matter. Matter is the source of the existence of all this. That is why we can say, this is impossible, la ilaha. Then necessarily there must be a creator who takes care of the whole universe, and it must be not describable within the conditions of this universe. Simple. So Quran's presentation of belief in the absolute being is so simple and not complicated at all. But unfortunately, Quran is not known by the people. Bible, Torah are confusing. They represent the concept of God. But what I noticed, there are some people, they are aware of the existence of the Quran. They are aware of the way the Quran is presenting. When they want to attack religion, they go and attack the belief system of Torah. And Christian claim that Jesus was Lord. They attacked it because they cannot attack the Quran.
What's the attack on the Torah? How did they attack?
Because it presents the creation in time. Then in seventh day he rested. And they say, God is resting,
Okay.
Which kind of creator? And they don't bring the idea of the creator as witnessed in this universe. So there is no evidence there. So Torah doesn't speak with evidence. Quran speaks with evidence. Only Quran speaks with evidence of the necessary existence of the absolute being. Only Quran.
Interesting. Alhamdulillah.
That is why they are very much afraid of spread of the Quran and Islam.
Because the evidence is,
So clear.
supporting evidence is there.
Yeah, it is so clear and straightforward. Nothing complicated.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's why they keep attacking Muslims. And unfortunately, the Muslims' situation is, look at my life, horrible. Yeah, that's,
Another story.
yeah. They are making excuse of the people's mistakes and ignorance. Like this one, preventing them from getting a really good education
Yeah.
and not letting them learn religion properly, Islam, in their own land where they are. Now, for example, in Turkey, you cannot really learn what the Quran is really teaching. They are mixed with Turkish culture. Pakistan is under really control everywhere. Saudi Arabia, impossible. Impossible to teach whatever you believe, whatever you understand, except that the royal family allows you. Nothing else. Suhail wants.
Suhail, go ahead. It's your comment.
Yeah, to that point, I was actually at, I got invited where I live to a Jewish synagogue, and and there were Christians there, and it was like supposed to be an interfaith event, and they don't, the rabbi who, truthfully, I think Jewish people, Judaism is more interested in Zionism nowadays than anything else, because there was like a Israeli flag in the middle of the synagogue, but nonetheless, they seem more interested, or rather not interested in, inquiring about what the Quran says. That's my experience, especially as you're saying, because it's the clearest book as it pertains to, what the reality of the universe is. And even to the point that, there were Christians that I mentioned, because they were saying, they were talking about Christmas. I said, did you know Jesus is mentioned in the Quran, or Mary is mentioned in the Quran, in a slightly different light, and they were pretty surprised by that, but they didn't want to engage with that, as you said. And I found that very fascinating. That's kind of been my experience in my life when, people come to find out what potentially the Quran says. So, especially if they're very strong in or hold on to whatever they believe in, especially if they potentially find it challenging.
Yes, for example, there are some departments in faculties or, divinity, Farah must know it, I think, there. Divinity studies, religious studies, Islamic studies, etc., etc. What we should do there, we should study the belief system only, belief. For example, who God is, or believe in God, believe in the hereafter according to Quran, nothing to do with Muslim world. According to the Quran, believe in angels according to the Quran. Because what they want, what in 12th century, what they said about something confusing, always, or matters of dispute. They love it. They love it, matters of dispute between Shiite and Sunni. If you say, I'm going to study about any concept which is the subject of dispute between Muslims and Shiites, you will definitely get the scholarship. If you say, I'm going to study Tawhid in the Quran, it is doubtful. Yeah, but you will say the Quran is straight. No, you have to be academic. You have to be impartial. You cannot defend the Quran. That's why they say if you say that the Quran is very consistent with and it is teaching, then they say no, you have to be critical. But when you study, that's what I think mentioned a while ago here. When you study Buddhism, they don't say you have to be critical. Hinduism, they don't say you have to be critical. You just defend. As Buddhist people believe and practice, you just present it. And no one said that you have to be critical. But when you study the Quranic point of view, no, you have to be critical. What does it mean? You shouldn't defend. You should make somehow dubious. That is what the nature of Islamic studies are. Inshallah, there may be some sincere people who study Islam, and they may allow you. Otherwise, institutions themselves wouldn't, and they wouldn't give you scholarship. Okay, that is just political.
Yeah, even the academic programs, I was speaking to two second-year chaplaincy students. I was asking them, what are you learning? What are they teaching? Most likely sociology, learning about different cultures, but more integration.
Not belief system.
So maybe
Nothing to do with
nothing, and they're going to become next year Islamic chaplain.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so the next is the seventh phrase. Do we do this? And he gives life, and he deals death. A very brief indication of the proof contained in this phrase. In the autumn when 300,000 species of living creatures are being discharged from their duties under the name of death. Under the name of death.
Yeah, not really.
It's not really death.
Discharged
from their duties.
Discharged from duty. Yeah.
Registers and pages of the actions of each species and all their members, and the indexes of all they have done, and the lists of all they will do the following spring, and their seeds, which are spirits of a sort, are all entrusted in their places to the hand of wisdom of the all-glorious preserver. The person, therefore, who does not recognize that all-wise creator, the ever-living and undying one, who inscribes in the minuscule seeds of the fig tree, each of which is like an immortal spirit and bears all the laws governing the tree's life. The story of the tree's life, which contains writing enough to fill a book, thus making it like a large volume. Such a person is certainly not even an idiot and delirious animal, but more abject than the devils who stroke the fires of hell and will be condemned to eternal death. All right, so yes, just as it is 100-fold impossibility and futility that the above universal, comprehensive, wise, purposive acts, which comprise numberless wonders and miracles and point to the proofs of these phrases. So whatever these phrases are mentioning is observable, and one can reason can see all these qualities, all these acts in creation, should be without the one who performed them. So should be without the one who performed them. So too, to attribute them to blind, impotent, unconscious, deaf, lifeless, confused, disorderly, overwhelming causes is impossible, precluded and unjustifiable 1,000 times over. For if that was the case, every particle of earth would have to possess an infinite power and wisdom and a wondrous universal craftsmanship, so that it could give form to all the plants and flowers. And as it says in the piece about the air in A Guide for Youth,
It's the name of a book.
Every molecule of air would have to possess the ability to know all speech and all the words spoken on the radio and telephone, and to teach them to the other molecules.
Yeah, may not be now. The technology wasn't available that time. Air.
But each particle
No,
has
each
to know,
particle, yes, each particle. Yeah.
has to know the other, has to be able to communicate with the other.
Yeah. Well, something a part of this universe.
No, Satan even could make anyone accept such an extraordinary idea. The penalty for unbelief and denial, which is thus far from reason and reality, and constitutes insult and aggression against all beings. Insult and aggression against all beings could only be a terrible hell, which is pure justice. We should surely declare in the face of such disbelievers, long live hell.
They deserve it. I think it is. It may be understood generally as they are insulting the Creator, which is correct as well. But insulting the all beings, every part, because I am saying that you are not really representing the knowledge of the Creator, power of the Creator, but you are yourself, are acting by yourself, on yourself. What does it mean? What does it mean? I am saying, for example, let's say a person is acting on behalf of a company. I am saying this to this person that you are not acting on behalf of the company, you are acting on yourself. The person will say, look, am I a traitor? Am I a person who is denying my real mission? What do you mean that I am acting on my own? I am the representative of such and such company. So my duty is to present his productions to you. No, that is your production. I am accusing this person as a liar. So if we do the same thing to the creatures, we should be accusing them as liars rather than announcing the qualities of their Creator. No, it is yours. Says, no, it is not mine. In its existence, they presented, it cannot be my action. It cannot be. If someone says to me, you made your heart, I will say, no, I dare not to claim that. I found myself with heart. Are you telling me that I'm really betraying the one who gave me my heart and saying that it is mine, not yours? Do you think I am a betrayer of the giver? It is an insult to me. I will say, no, I'm made in this way.
Yeah.
That's all. If I say it is mine, I am dishonest. You are telling me that you are dishonest. It is saying it is yours. No. That is why every being will be complaining about the deniers, because they deny that they don't fulfill the mission to declare the qualities of their creator. So what does it mean? In the here, in the next creation, they will say, I'm not, even these creatures in their nature, they will say, look, I am not going to serve this man anymore. Right?
He denied.
Yeah, he denied my reality. He insulted me. So that is why hell is where we will definitely suffer from missing everything what we want, to the number of the particles of the universe.
That makes sense.
That is why hell must be by its own existence a place of losing or lacking whatever I need, whatever I need. That is really burning my nature, burning. Why? Whatever you need now is not given to you. You need breath, air to breathe. No, not given to you.
Wow.
Can you imagine lack of everything, missing everything you need? As if this is not enough, people take the Quranic description as literally and say burning. The burning is burns your body, but this understanding burns your whole human side. Not body only, whole human side. Your feelings are suffering from
Suffocating.
dissatisfaction. Or that is, God forbid. God forbid. I dare not to do that, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay.
All right. I think we're at time, so we can.
Long live hell means they deserve
They
it.
deserve it,
Not
yes.
because I'm happy,
Right.
but after hearing the message, innocent people, I always take precautions. Innocent people, they don't know what they are doing. They don't really mean to deny God anything. They just live like, I don't know, not human being, but conscious deniers, really long live hell for them.
Conscious denier.
Especially with this kind that I will never forgive my right. Exploiting the creation and misinterpreting it, using for their caprices. Petty expectations, but he's going to be a professor.
So intelligent and following the orders.
Yes. So this pretty, very temporary benefit. Everybody in a conference, no one else knows. Then only 100 people know him. Exactly. They admire him, okay, and applaud him for this sake, and also get some salary. Go and be an honest driver, taxi driver, rather than despise dishonest professor. Be a mechanic, even really sanitation worker. Honest sanitation worker deserves paradise. You deserve hell because you knowingly, consciously, deliberately denying the truth, insulting every creature. That's why long live hell for those knowingly deny it, although they don't admit verbally. Yeah. Is there any check?
Ego won't allow it. So Sohail says ego won't allow
Yes, exactly. That is the only problem.
to
There's
accept the
not
reality.
intelligence problem. Definitely, they are more intelligent than I am, but so simple thing. They deny it for petty benefits.
Inshallah. So I hope we are all conscious beings, realize the reality. Bismillah. So we'll stop here, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana. Innaka antal alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati suratul Fatiha. Thank you.